We will just go through the recap. Recap is a trend now, right? When we are watching a web series or serials, we have the concept of going for a recap. Let us just go a recap with the sessions we discussed last week. Last Friday, there was an interesting lecture. This lecture was debating the topic elimination or cultivation, which is of utmost priority. That was the topic, right? This was by our lecturer, Muthu. We were discussing which is of utmost priority, elimination or cultivation. Okay. We had very interesting questionnaire interaction between the participants. Many participants were voicing their preferences for elimination, some were for cultivation. Those things we had an elaborate discussion and we had a good conclusion also. Okay. Now, the question or the subsequent topic in today's class, we are going to discuss, or the question is, what are those that must be eliminated? We had an elaborate discussion. Yes, elimination is important. Cultivation is also very important. Both must follow each other subsequently. Today's discussion is what all those must be eliminated. So, or the so-called negatives. What are those negatives? To be specific, those must be eliminated. What are the factors? Those must be cultivated. This is a subsequent to previous last week's topic. So today's topic is Manoeuvre of Temperaments. There is a chapter from in the book written by Maharishi, Sky Yoga for Human Excellence, on volume 2. So this was the second edition was in the year 2017. From this book, from this chapter, Manoeuvre of Temperaments, the topics, the subject we will discuss today. Our discussion will be with the emphasis that what are the parameters those need to be maneuvered, or what are those temperaments which are of having importance as explained by Maharishi. So to start with, human beings come across various parts on earth having varied social, geographical, or cultural problems. Somewhere there is ice, somewhere there is desert, high heat, or somewhere there is scarcity of water, somewhere there is full of water. The dimensions are different, problems are different. Human beings are living with those parts, with those problems. Wherever they are getting an opportunity, surviving, they are surviving. The sufferings can be mental, physical, economical, or the measure is when we say these can be of various natures. The miseries which are undergone by the human beings are a result of the temperaments. That is what is the key topic for discussion today. The 6 temperaments that we will be talking, those 6 temperaments are greed, anger, miserliness, moral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance. And Maharishi further says these 6 temperaments are product of ego, which is the product or a child born to marriage of I or mine. So when I or mine, these 2 concepts are present, that will create rise to ego. Ego will manifest in all these 6 temperaments. We will go with each one of the temperaments: anger, greediness, miserliness, those things. Just recall a scenario. Even last time also Professor Muthu gave this example. Small baby asking for a milk or a chocolate or a fancy item, whatever. If that is denied, the baby is not given that. We know what the reaction is. Get upset, get angry, completely. We know the scenario we have come across, we see. Okay. The child can also get angry without having any particular growth or society or social interactions. Everything is still yet to come. Still, the child can also get angry. So the child also can get a temperament of anger. Then the case of an adult, one is hungry, waiting for food in a hotel or place, or at home. I'm waiting for food. Food has not arrived. Maybe my partner has not made it ready, or the waiter is taking long time. We get upset. We get emotional. With the anger crops in. Next case, daily habit. I'm in the habit of taking coffee morning, specific time, or evening. I have a specific habit of watching a program. Those things. If the habit is denied, then the anger drops in. The particular program, interesting program is to come. I don't have the network connectivity, or I'm missing that connectivity. I get angry. So this is how the habit or the need, if it is denied, gets or triggers the temperament anger. When you are traveling to office or airport, you need to be on time. You are in a hurry. You are facing traffic on the road. Then you get angry. It's not by a habit, neither by the habit or not by need, but it comes from the circumstances. That is the third dimension. Circumstances can also trigger the temperament. Here we are taking the temperament anger. How those anger temperament can get triggered from need, habit, or circumstance dimensions. Similarly, in a professional front, on a day-to-day basis, we see employee who proposes a change. I propose a change in my office, out of my work. This should be done, or this is the desirable one. But that is denied or rejected by others, saying that, okay, no, we don't accept your proposal. From my perspective, or employee thinks his perspective is right. That should have been accepted, or he should have been recognized, or whatever. But it is not. Then starts getting anger. That comes from desire. I have a desire, or a colleague gets, I have a desire to get a promotion, or a salary hike, or a business trip. These are the motivators, or these are the ones we feel attracted. If that is denied, we get angry. If the colleague takes that opportunity, then the anger gets intensified. We get, why didn't get it? How come he got it? That gives another dimension of arrogance, or another dimension to the anger. So these are certain working habits which we say boss, colleagues. We cannot accept their habits, or if we go with our habits that is not liked by others, that gives to a point of confrontation or anger. These, these are the circumstances in an organizations. Sometimes the decision of the management, we are not aligned. So these are all typical habits, circumstances, or need, or greed, or desire that we want to go high, that is denied, that gives the reason for anger. These emotions, or the temperaments, what you're talking about, greed, anger, miserliness, or immoral sexual passion, vanity, vengeance, are triggered by need, habit, or circumstance dimensions. This is a basic understanding, or why this get come. Okay. Now, why all these get triggered? For example, greed. Why do have that greediness? Why do I get this greediness? Or where this originated? If we see the animal instinct, or instinct which is there in human being for several generations, it is coming. That instinct is there in the genetical behavior, or human behavior, that is incorporated in the genetics. So that is how the greediness comes. If we see, even for few years back, precisely about 6 years back, we had a scenario when people were hoarding, people were running around shops to collect dairy products, some fresh vegetables or products just to hoard or store, because there was a news, there was a panic situation, there was expected or suspected shortage of supply. People started running, collecting things and keeping. That is called a hoarding mentality or greediness to hoard. So even that was there present. So how this nature or things come? It can be traced back about habits of hundreds of generations. People were staying in a cave, or human beings, the caveman, they were staying in caves. In the caves, the lifestyle or the requirements were to store food for the bad weather or bad time when you cannot go outside in the extreme difficult times. You have to store food for next 3 months or 4 months, the tough times. Then when the weather gets better, or spring or summer, you can go out and collect some food. So that was probably the lifestyle or the methods of their survival. During those times, some people, those who stored, they survived longer. Some people who were generous, they showed generosity, shared the food, they might have survived, or could not survive longer, or they survived but without fitness. This could have been the reason how the greediness started instinct with the human beings. Greediness was an adapted feature or adapted trait during those times. Yes, cave dwellers, for them, greediness was considered to be an adapted factor. So that is how the greediness got uh, incorporated or got injected into the human being's tendency. But even now, we still continue the temptation of greed, even at high profile, high elevated points. For example, we go to a marriage function, grand function, or a business lunch, or we are in a lounge. The moment we see some food, special food, even the food, even the stomach is full, I have completed my food, still the temptation to try something better or something good, which is attractive, we get and go and grab it. That's the greed, or that's the component, the greed component. On a day-to-day market basis, whenever we see come across, we see many boards, free, sale, all discount, everything. These are all by marketing groups or marketing techniques. They target only the greed component in the human being. They say, okay, things coming for a cheap or from a discounted price, human mind gets tempted. So they target the greed component and do their marketing skill. This is again a skill which is developed or taught at high level institutions, saying that yes, genetically human being is having a greed component. Make use of it, make your marketing more or your sales more. This is how the things are going with the current temperament. When we see still, even the greed component, when it gets unrestricted or uncontrolled, even a person who is a billionaire, he can still have a greed for going higher. He just billionaire. No, others are multi-billionaire. So the greed component cannot come down or cannot get restricted. So where is the problem? After the greed component, another component comes vanity. When you have a billionaire or you have having more money, the next component is vanity. Vanity is what? Pride or self-importance or arrogance. All these are referred to vanity. Many end up in vanity due to the circumstances, either in social media or amongst their social circle, friend circle or social circle, or within the employees. So that is how we get hooked up to show pride or vanity, even if it is not essential, not required. From the circumstantial requirement, people go for vanity. Whether it is vanity is again how it comes out of comparison. The moment we say pride with compared to what? With some comparison, a point of comparison is there. Immediately with that comes, when the comparison comes, the pride component or vanity component rises. It is out of comparison. Be it physical attributes. Physical attributes, I am more stronger, more powerful, I'm taller. So these are the physical attributes, or more beautiful. So health, no, wealth aspect, wealthier. There is no limit to display of vanity on the prospect of wealth. People go on showing their wealth or wealthiness. Then power or influence, fame, all these factors or all these perspectives are used for comparison to show vanity. This results in superiority complex or inferiority complex. When we see the branded products, the garments, shoes, watch, phone, or a top branded car, these are all pride possessions of the owners to show their pride amongst all others. So that is how the vanity. If there is a real need, yes, that cannot be denied, or that is not bad thing. But just for the sake of showing their wealthiness, showing their power, showing their possession, ability to possess those brands, that is the component vanity, which is again the undesirable temperament. All these temperaments are linked to each other. Presence of one can promote other. That's again a bad link when we see that all are chained together. If one gets prominently placed in the human trait, then the all other rest of the components also get get increased or show their presence. Vengeance, another component is, or another temperament is vengeance. What is vengeance? When anger is exhibited, one develops a desire to settle the score. When we want to settle the score, that itself is vengeance. Even the smallest of the small vengeance. Example, I was not invited to the event by my friend. Okay, so next I will be waiting for opportunity. I will not invite my friend to this. So that's the simplest form of vengeance. Or we come across almost every day or every moment we keep seeing things of vengeance or acts of vengeance or even thoughts of vengeance. We plan, we wait for an opportunity to take vengeance. Even history, when we say history, when we read or recall history, that gives evidence how the acts of vengeance got carried for generations. This dynasty ruled this dynasty. This dynasty wanted to take revenge on other. That's in the older this one. Even in the modern, in the recent past few 100 years back or few years back, if we say the wars, the world wars which happened. World War was again an attack of a particular stronger body on another team or another group of nations. These group of nations planned to retaliate. That's act of vengeance. Pearl Harbor or nuclear bombing, all these are acts of vengeance at a mega scale, which even led to loss of millions of people or civilization. So that's how the vengeance can be deadly or dangerous at a mega scale. So far, we covered what are the temperaments, how are these temperaments exhibited. Well, what is wrong or what's the consequence of having this? Well, all these temperaments can result in miseries only. These temperaments lead to poverty, subsequently the cardinal sins, that is dishonesty, thievery, murder, gambling, and rape. These five will result. When these temperaments grow further, these five lead to this. Ultimately, suffering, miseries. That is the outcome or consequence of these things. Before we go, we just have a question. What is darkness? When we say darkness, is there any component or is there any object called darkness? No. even the Wikipedia or scientifically, the answer is absence of light is called darkness, or absence of illumination, that is called darkness. Billions of people suffered, are suffering the miseries. Why all these are being faced by human beings? There is something missing. That missing component, what we are trying to put emphasis is the sixth sense or awareness. Here also, absence of awareness leads to development of these temperaments. Then temperaments these temperaments lead to the cardinal sins, which ultimately end up in resulting misery or sorrow. So absence of awareness, that's the key. Like absence of light leading to darkness. In the darkness, we see many things, ugly things or undesirable things going up or growing. So absence of awareness is the key that we are trying to put emphasis in the next few slides. Then where is the resolution, or how to resolve these things? Absence of awareness, we understood. Okay. How to overcome these problems resulting from temperaments? Over centuries, wise scholars have provided various methods in the form of slokas, religious scriptures. They created religion also. Even Marci says the religion was created only to ensure people follow the virtues, also to ensure that human being leads a virtuous life. They depicted the evils of these temperaments in various forms. For example, if we take the scriptures or take the mythological books, which says, like, for example, Ramayana, Mahabharata, the summary, if you see the gist or summary of these epics, the focus is on the six temperaments: greed, anger, miserliness, immoral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance. These are the components or temperaments which are exhibited or attributed to the characters which are portrayed in those epics. Those in the form of those characters having assigned those temperaments, the results were shown that those who showed these temperaments, they faced miseries. And those who showed awareness, staying away from these temperaments, were relieved from the miseries. This is, or they were called divine characters or divine, attained divinity. So this is what is the story is again telling or trying to tell these components. This has been simplified in Marx's approach, saying that you need to take care of these six temperaments. How to resolve or how to mitigate the present problems. That is what our system, World Community Service Centers system of yoga, helps developing the awareness so that the purpose of life is understood. We can correct and regulate physical and mental health. Our sky practices help in developing the awareness. What I said earlier is absence of awareness is the cause of all these things. This awareness can be developed by sky practices. The ability to do analysis, that also can be practiced with the sky practices. So with awareness and analysis, one will be able to maneuver the temperaments. This is the key point. Temperaments, these are the temperaments. The temperaments will be leading to this things is one given fact. How to do the temperaments, that is what is being addressed by doing, by increasing your awareness. How to increase your awareness? Awareness can be increased by developing the sky practices. What are these temperaments, or how to maneuver the means of or the skills for this is called, that's why we are not calling this as a managing the temperaments or management of temperaments. No, this is called as maneuvering of temperaments. That is the skill of navigating smoothly. When we say maneuvering, maneuvering is a different or a different skill set. The art of navigating, when we say the pilot maneuvered flight smoothly even under tough rough weather, so that we say the rough weather was present, but he moved it in such a navigated in such a smooth way that things were so fast and no one could have any feeling of that. So that's the kind of meaning I'm trying to convey by using the word maneuvering. That's the skill of navigating smoothly. So that is why we are calling it as maneuvering of temperaments. It has to be tackled in a sleek and smooth way. The methods of introspection under sky, these are aimed at changing the thought, deed, and actions, because that's the basic thing. Anything, any human being, whatever is acting, whatever is working, either is it thought process or a deed or an action. So thought, deed, and actions need to be performed in such a way that these emotions are controlled or these temperaments are maneuvered properly. Let us discuss these techniques of maneuvering of temperaments. When we say desire, desire, as far as life force is there, life will be there and there will be desire. Maharshi says there is nothing called don't have desire or desire should not be there. That is absolutely absurd, or it is not a feasible thing. Okay? So as far as life force is there, that means life is there. And that is an indication that desire will be there. Even the desire is there to breathe air. We cannot live without breathing air. So life is there means design is there. So desire cannot be or should not be eradicated or even attempted to be eradicated. That is absolutely not a valid attempt. That's what Marx says. Thinking of eradicating desire is also a lack of awareness. If someone is having lacking awareness, he will think of saying that I should not have the desires. Deal the desires with awareness. That is the key word. There will be desire, but with your awareness, deal with the desire. Analyze the desire. So analyze and awareness. So you have awareness to analyze, then you analyze your desire. What factors to be considered? Past experience, present circumstances, and problems in future. Whatever was the past experience based on this desire, good or bad or required or unrequired, based on that, take a decision. Present requirement or present circumstances, based on this present circumstances, desire, yes, it can be or it should be taken up. And the problems in future, by taking up this desire with the present, you have a justification that yes, past experience was good, present circumstances required, I'm going for it. Think of the future consequence or future problems also. Will there be? Yes, if the answer, then you have to be aware, analyze properly. That is what the moderation of desires based on merits and demerits, whether it is worthy or unworthy. That is how the awareness has to be present. Coming to the anger temperament. So, how? Can this be completely eradicated? Many of you are in the system. Most of us are in the system. So we all know that it is possible. But some who are new to the system or those who are listening for a few sessions only, they can have a question, valid question. Yes, is it possible? Anger can be eradicated or anger can be completely neutralized. Just to give an example or just to confirm that yes, it is there by experience or by practice, you can see our group, patients only. There is a WhatsApp group. In this WhatsApp group, if we just follow the chats or just go back to the charts, a year back, how many because those who do not know, the WhatsApp only group, patients only group in the WhatsApp talks about how many times in a day I just got angry. Just the number 5, 4, 3, 2, or 0. Okay. Several months back, the numbers were in 2 digits, then came down to single digit, and now many of the members are having 0. A few members are reporting single digit, that to just below 5, 1 or 2 or 3. So it is definitely possible, and it is in practice, and people have gained or have benefited by using the practices, and proved that anger can be managed, or anger can be, I won't say managed, anger can be eradicated or neutralized. Anger managed means you are living with the anger. No, anger is not to be managed. Anger is to be eradicated or completely neutralized. Okay. Mm. So that's how the numbers are showing the proof that yes, Sky practitioners have come across the features where they are able to completely stay calm, not having anger for even throughout the day, even for months together. They are showing that number 0. Okay. Analyze whether the actions, or how are the techniques. Okay, these are the fact, yes, can be done, but what are the techniques? How can one practice? When the movement, situation, circumstance comes for angry, analyze whether the actions for reason to become angry is only responsible, the person responsible is the other person, third party, or even I am responsible for my anger. What is the extent of my own mistakes that is leading to such actions? By getting angry, will the problem be solved? Solution update. What are the consequences or loss by getting angry? So these are the things, components, if we analyze, that will help us in eradicating or at least neutralizing the anger movements. These answers will be helping us to understand. Okay, by doing this, or by making getting angry, I am wasting my life force energy. By wasting life force energy, or sudden depletion of or sudden exhaustion of life force energy is leading to reduced supply. Life force energy has to go to different parts of the body, different cells, different organs are maintaining or functioning because of life force. The moment there is a sudden exhausted, life force is exhausted with sudden shorter duration, there will be a deficiency. Certain organs will not be functioning properly. That is how we say some people they got BP, or some people got attack, and all these things. That is because the cells are deprived, sudden deprivation of biomagnetic field or life force energy. So these are the reasons, or these are the consequences which will lead if there is unnecessary spending or unnecessary temperaments which are exhibited. So preserve by eradicating anger, we can preserve our biomagnetism and ensure a healthy body. Just we'll go through an example on the relation between awareness, anger, and those components. It is very common when we are driving a car in this part of the world or wherever we are seeing, how we see it. Person gets angry, right? The car in the front is not giving you way. Wanted to overtake the car in the front, is not giving the way. Prolonged unsuccessful attempts. We tried to flash or honk, whatever. We were following for a few minutes or few seconds. We are not getting the side. The car in the front is absolutely not bothered to respect our request or respect our position and the asking for side. Then finally, you managed to overtake the car. We could go just with the other means, and we could solve. And what we are seeing, the car in the front, we got irritated or we got angry, and fine. Or in the slide, I'm just trying to show this person got completely anger. He is bursting with anger that other person did not give the way. After overtaking or while overtaking, he saw car in the front is having this board. This is showing that person having certain disability. Okay. In this situation, what would be the reaction of the person who was angry, or who was cursing, or who was scolding or blaming the person in the front? His perception will change. Generally, his perception will change. If we say, okay, oh, this person is disabled, or person is having some problem, okay, then okay, we completely forgive, or we say that, oh, there is not a problem. Okay, let's just forgive him, or we just we won't get angry. That's the kind of feeling we will say, oh, okay, this person has a problem. Okay. Now coming to the basic question, absence of awareness. Where is the absence of awareness? The moment we feel the person is arrogant, he is not giving side, that is absence of awareness in us, or the person who is back behind, he was not having thinking. The moment he feels, yes, the other person is not having his ability or sense or sixth sense, then we feel, okay, no problem, let us go easy. The other person is not having his sixth sense, or not behaving properly with the sixth sense. He is disabled, or he is having ability problems, he is having challenges. Fine. The moment that is there, we excuse or we forgive, our anger gets controlled. But the moment we can exhibit our anger, that means it is a display, or it is a confirmation that we are not having our sixth sense, or we are not having our awareness. So this is just a thought of sharing an example. This is how we can overcome, control our anger, or overcome our anger, saying that, yes, if I lose my cool or lose my calm, that means I am lacking my awareness. Then okay, let us go to the other component, greed or charity component. So these are the virtuous deeds. How to overcome greed or charity component to be developed. Material needs, desires for comfort are definitely required to a certain extent. Material components are required. Yes, the greed component, when we say, when it exceeds the requirement, then we call greed. As long as certain components which are required, which are maintained, that's not a problem. Something exceeding, that we call it greed. So this is there with the human being. The main component that is to be understood is, there are other people living on this earth. They also have the need to such components. If some are deprived of these components, they have the need, they are deprived. There comes the concept that your greed has to be converted to charity by conveying or giving or satisfying the needs of those who are deprived. That is the need to have a survival of the human being, but they are deprived. So their life in miseries, that needs to be addressed by charity. Vanity, all are born equal. There are differences in the skills or talents. When we are comparing the difference in skills, difference in abilities, difference in their talent. Someone is a very good painter, or a very good sportsman, or very good orator. So, but their displaying of the vanity, that I have this money, or I am able to do this unnecessarily, is vanity. So that is how the vanity across the world needs to be managed, so that the power positions of the people are not misused. Those are used for the development of the world. Marx says that distinctions which are achieved by an individual should be used for service to society. If one is having his ability to do great jobs, okay, let that be useful for the society. Let let the skills be used for the development of society. What is done for society, or what I did for society, that should be the concept. That should be the question of showing equality in the society. Are you treating others equal? Are the inferiority superiority complexes eradicated? They should Vanity should vanish. Only then the vanity will vanished when I'm showing this concept of equality. So the thought, deed, and actions are performed with awareness and analysis that results in the complete elimination of all these six temperaments, that is greed, anger, miserliness, immoral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance. So after elimination of these, there will be a blissful life. The introspection, which involves or which it deals with analysis of thought, the moderation of desires, neutralization of anger, eradication of worries, and then finally you realize, who am I? The divine realization, that is how can be achieved. That only introspection can bring this. In introspection practices will purify the genetic center. Purification is necessary. Without the purification, the animal instinct, which I said in the beginning, the greediness concept or anger or the vanity, these components which are there in the genetic center cannot be purified. This needs to be purified only by the process of introspection, which can do the purification of the genetic center. Cultivate. Okay, coming back to our points, the previous session we had a discussion, elimination and cultivation. So these the six temperaments. Yes, elimination and cultivation. These six virtuous deeds that have the cultivation of feeling of contentedness, cultivate the temperament of tolerance, cultivate the temperament of charity, maintaining chastity, maintaining equality in the society, and forgiveness, not having vengeance, that is forgiveness. These are the factors or temperaments which need to be cultivated. Cultivate these habits following the path of virtues. That is by following all this, showing all these six temperaments. Before concluding, we'll just quickly go through Italian story. Many of you, I think everyone must have heard or studied during the childhood, the story of a happy man, the king, who was sick, and he wanted to get cured. All the court justice or called medical people, they checked everything. They said absolutely there is no problem. This king is perfectly okay, but he was very unhappy. He was not having the normal happy lifestyle. So finally, someone suggested, okay, the king may come with wear a shirt of a happy man and sleep on the bed of a happy man. They tried to find out that absolutely there were finally with a lot of search, they could find one person who was very happy, but he doesn't have a shirt, he doesn't have a bed. He sleeps under the open sky on the rock of on the bed of rocks and living his joyful life. The summary or the moral, what we are trying to say is the material possessions are not going to give happiness for the sake of, for the need of happiness or to become happy. You are having the material possessions is an absurd thought process. So thought process of the joyful blissful life can come by practicing these virtuous deeds, showing contentedness, showing tolerance, showing charity or equality or forgiveness. This will lead to a joyful and a peaceful life. So we'll just conclude the wrap up from Maharshi's summary or bullet points for this entire chapter is the six temperaments, what we discussed in the beginning, will lead to major is only, nothing else. One must practice the maneuvering of temperaments. There is no excuse or there is no other way. One must practice the maneuvering of temperaments. Then, after practicing, the success of such practices or how successful you are, how good you are in the maneuvering of temperaments, that can be measured from the inner peace. The individual, how he is having peace and how good he is maintaining his harmony in the family, maintaining harmony in the family, how good he is in maintaining harmony within the family. What Marx says is by having individual peace and maintaining harmony in the family, the ultimate result is the harmony will be at large in the society, in the city, in the country. everyone will go on expanding the harmony among others, then the world peace can be achieved. So the temperaments are the barriers. Actually, these temperaments are the barriers on the way or on the path to God realization. The whole objective of a human objective, purpose of life to God realization is getting distracted or interrupted by these barriers in the form of these barriers, which are the 6 temperaments. In order to reach your objective, fulfill your goal, fulfill the purpose of life, one has to regulate, overcome the barriers for a divine realization. That is the purpose of sixth sense, to realize the truth, attain the salvation. So that is the have your awareness, have your sixth sense to analyze, to realize the truth and attain salvation. Be blessed by divine. Thank you.